Hey guys, settle in. Find that cozy spot. Maybe dim the lights if they're still bright. Or perhaps just close your eyes and let the darkness behind your eyelids be your own personal cinema screen for the mind. Take a deep, slow breath in. Feel your chest rise, your lungs fill with cool, calming air. And then exhale slowly, letting go of any tension, any lingering worries from your day. Let the gentle hum of your fan, if you have one, or the distant murmur of the night outside your window be your soft, soothing backdrop. It is a sound that promises quiet, a melody of stillness. Allow your shoulders to drop, your jaw to relax, your forehead to smooth. Just breathe. As you relax, I invite you to join me on a journey, not through the hustle and bustle of modern life, but deep, deep into the heart of an ancient world. A world painted in shades of emerald and jade, hidden beneath a canopy of shimmering leaves. Tonight, we're not just listening to a story. We're stepping back in time, allowing the mysteries of the past to gently unfold, to lull us into a peaceful, reflective slumber. There's no rush here. Just the quiet turning of pages in a history book whispered into the night. And if you find a moment of peace, a gentle calm washing over you, a quiet nudge to the like button or a subscription is always appreciated, but only if it genuinely feels right. No pressure at all, just settle in, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Imagine for a moment you are standing at the edge of a vast, ancient forest. Not just any forest, but the dense, vibrant, living heart of the Central American rainforest. It's late evening. The sun has just dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery oranges and purples that quickly fade into an inky blackness. A profound quiet begins to descend, but it's not an empty quiet. No, this is a quiet filled with life, a symphony of the wild. The air around you is thick, moist, heavy with the scent of damp earth, decaying leaves, and the sweet, almost intoxicating perfume of unseen night, blooming flowers. You can feel the humidity clinging to your skin, a soft, invisible blanket, like a warm, comforting embrace. Close your eyes and listen. Can you hear it? The chorus of a million unseen insects, a steady, hypnotic hum that pulses through the air. Crickets chirping their rhythmic songs, cicadas buzzing with an electric energy, and the occasional sharp cry of an unknown bird echoing from the shadows. A sound both wild and strangely comforting in its primal honesty. Perhaps there's a gentle breeze, a whisper that rustles through the colossal leaves of the jungle canopy high above you. It is the breath of the ancient world, sighing through centuries of silence. The rustle sounds like old parchment turning, or perhaps the soft, knowing murmur of secrets waiting to be told, secrets that have been held close by the very trees for countless generations. There's a timeless quality to this place, a sense that the trees have stood sentinel for millennia, silently observing the rise and fall of civilizations. And it's into this emerald embrace, this pulsating, living temple of nature, that we journey tonight. For here, nestled deep within this verdant labyrinth, once thrived a civilization unlike any other, the Maya. They were, in many ways, the children of time and stars, a people whose minds soared to the heavens while their hands shaped stone into monuments that defy belief. Picture their cities for a moment, not as crumbling ruins, but as they once were, vibrant, bustling centers of life, adorned with towering pyramids that pierced the rainforest canopy, temples intricately carved with the faces of gods and kings. and wide plazas where rituals unfolded beneath the watchful eyes of their celestial deities. This was a civilization that reached astonishing heights in fields we might consider modern marvels. Their grasp of astronomy was profound, their mathematical systems elegant and groundbreaking, and their art a mesmerizing tapestry of intricate glyphs and vibrant frescoes. They charted the movements of planets with breathtaking accuracy, predicted eclipses centuries in advance, and conceived of a number system that included the revolutionary concept of zero long before many other cultures. They transformed the jungle itself into a canvas, building entire metropolises without the aid of metal tools or the wheel. A truly golden age of intellectual and artistic achievement, blossoming in a world that might seem primitive to us now, yet was in fact incredibly sophisticated, deeply spiritual, and richly complex. But then, as if touched by an unseen hand, many of these magnificent cities, particularly in the southern lowlands, began to fall silent, not in a dramatic, catastrophic war, but in a gradual, perplexing retreat. Their grand construction projects ceased. Their stelae, those monumental carved stone slabs, stopped being erected, and slowly, inexplicably, the people began to leave. They simply walked away from their homes, their temples, their fields, allowing the insatiable jungle to creep back in, reclaiming stone by stone, path by path, until only the silent vine, choked skeletons of their once proud cities remained, whispering echoes of a lost grandeur. It is a mystery that has haunted archaeologists, historians, and dreamers for centuries. How could such an advanced, seemingly stable civilization simply vanish from its prime? It wasn't a complete disappearance of the people. No, but the collapse of a sophisticated city-state structure, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and silent stone witnesses. The Maya didn't just fade. Their classical cities were, in a historical blink of an eye, abandoned, leaving the jungle to claim what was once theirs. Tonight, as we drift deeper into this ancient enigma, we will gently uncover some of the most fascinating secrets of the Mayan civilization. We'll explore their profound understanding of time, their revolutionary mathematical insights, their celestial observatories hidden within the jungle, and the daily rituals that bound their society together. We'll glimpse into their architectural wonders, ponder the vibrant artistry of their written language, and finally, gently, touch upon the various theories that attempt to explain their great puzzling collapse. There are countless threads to pull in this tapestry of mystery, but for tonight, we'll begin to unravel just a few, enough to spark your imagination and hopefully lead you towards a deep and restful sleep. Let's begin our exploration of these ancient secrets, one gentle whisper at a time. Now let's gently ease into one of the most widely known, yet often misunderstood aspects of Mayan culture, their incredible understanding of time, and in particular the infamous year 2012. For many, that year became synonymous with doomsday predictions, a swirling vortex of fears and anxieties about the end of the world. Perhaps you remember the headlines, the dramatic movies, the whispers of cosmic alignment and global catastrophe. It was a moment when a profound ancient wisdom was, perhaps unintentionally, twisted into a modern-day myth, stripped of its nuance and transformed into something it was never meant to be. But tonight, let's softly untangle that knot of misinformation. Let's gently clear away the sensationalism and reveal the true, much more elegant and circular nature of the Mayan prophecy. Or rather, The Mayan sun calendar. You see, the Maya were not predicting an apocalypse in 2012. They were simply marking the end of a grand cycle in their sophisticated long-count calendar, a system of dating that spanned thousands of years. Imagine, if you will, the odometer in your car. When it rolls over from 99,999 miles to 0000, it doesn't mean your car has suddenly ceased to exist. It simply means you've completed a journey, reached a significant milestone, and are now beginning a brand new one. The Mayan calendar functioned in a remarkably similar, though far more cosmic fashion. The long count calendar tracked time in immense cycles called two Viaktun. Each Viaktun lasted for approximately 394 years. The date, the 21st of December 2012, marked the completion of the 13th Viaktun since the mythical creation date of their current era. For the Maya, this wasn't an end, but a rebirth. A moment of renewal, a grand reset button on the cosmic clock, ushering in a fresh start, a new era, a new beak tune. It was a time for reflection, for looking back on the lessons of the past cycle, for acknowledging the ebb and flow of cosmic energy, and for preparing for the opportunities and challenges of the new one. There was no cataclysm, no fiery destruction, merely the turning of a very ancient, very profound calendar page, a gentle breath in the grand cosmic cycle. Their understanding of time was truly extraordinary, a testament to their deep connection with the cosmos. While many cultures view time as a linear progression 50, a straight line stretching from past to future Fintorn, the Maya perceived it as cyclical, a series of interconnected cycles within cycles, like ripples in a pond expanding outwards, or the slow, deliberate growth rings of an ancient, wise tree. They saw the grand dance of the universe reflected in the rhythm of the seasons, the predictable phases of the moon, the reliable rising and setting of the sun, and the intricate, captivating movements of the planets. Every single event was part of a larger, repeating pattern, a cosmic ballet that unfolded with perfect precision, governed by unseen forces and divine will. This cyclical perception of time permeated every aspect of their lives, from the planting of crops to the coronation of kings, from the timing of sacred rituals to the declaration of war. They believed that by understanding these cycles, by charting the celestial rhythms with unwavering diligence, they could anticipate future events, guide their rulers with wisdom and foresight, and ensure the prosperity and spiritual well-being of their people. They were, truly, the masters of time, not just its passive observers. They saw time itself as a living, breathing entity, endowed with its own consciousness and power, a force to be respected, understood, and harmonized with. Their calendar systems were incredibly intricate, far beyond a simple annual tracker. Beyond the long count, they also maintained a 260-day sacred calendar, known as the Tzolk'in, which governed religious rituals, the naming of children, and determined auspicious days for various activities. This Tzolk'in cycle intermeshed with a 365-day solar calendar, the Haib, creating a 52-year calendar round Savadi, a period after which the combined cycles would repeat, bringing the cosmic energies back into alignment. Imagine a complex, beautifully crafted gear spinning within another gear, each turning at its own precise rate, creating an endlessly fascinating, yet utterly predictable, pattern. For the Maya, this wasn't just about keeping track of days. It was about understanding the very fabric of existence, about aligning human life with the divine order and vast, pulsating rhythms of the universe. So, as you gently drift, remember the Mayan perspective: the end of one cycle is always the beginning of another. There is always renewal, always a fresh start waiting on the horizon. There is an inherent comfort in this cyclical view, a reassuring rhythm that reminds us that even after endings, new beginnings invariably follow, as certain as the sunrise. The sun always rises again, the moon always waxes and wanes, and the seasons always turn, bringing forth new life. The Maya knew this deep in their bones, and they etched this profound wisdom into their stones and their calendars, leaving us a legacy that transcends mere dates. Their calendar was not a harbinger of doom, but a hymn to eternal continuity, a gentle promise of endless rebirth. As we continue our journey into the quiet wisdom of the Maya, let's turn our attention to another profound aspect of their genius: their sophisticated understanding of numbers and mathematics. Imagine a civilization that, millennia ago, independently developed a mathematical system that was, in many ways, as advanced and elegant as any other in the ancient world. They weren't just counting their fingers and toes. They were conceptualizing numbers in a way that truly unlocked the secrets of the cosmos, allowing them to measure the seemingly immeasurable. And at the heart of this brilliance lay a concept that seems simple, even mundane, to us now, but was utterly revolutionary in its time: a concept of zero. Picture this: a small, elegant symbol, often resembling a conch shell, or sometimes a stylized flower, or even an open hand gently cupped. This wasn't just a pretty doodle, it was the Mayan representation of zero. They were among the very first civilizations globally, along with the Babylonians, and much later the Indians, to independently invent and utilize the concept of zero as a placeholder within their sophisticated numerical system. To truly appreciate the genius of this, consider what numbers would be like without zero. Imagine trying to write the number 10 or 100 or 1000 without a way to signify an empty place value. Without zero, the number 1 could mean 1 or 10 or 100 or 1,000. Depending entirely on context of authority, it would be incredibly ambiguous and limiting, akin to trying to build a complex structure without a foundation. Zero gave numbers a precise, unambiguous power, allowing for distinct values. It transformed simple counting into a flexible, powerful tool for complex calculations, a silent key unlocking vast mathematical possibilities. The Mayan number system was vigesimal, meaning it was based on 20, rather than our decimal system, which is based on 10. So instead of units, tens, hundreds, they had units, 20s, 400s, 8,000s, and so on. In their written numbers, they used simple dots to represent ones, up to 4 dots, and elegant bars to represent fives, 1 bar for 5, 2 for 10, 3 for 15. And then, that beautiful shell symbol representing 0 would gracefully hold the place when a particular power of 20 was absent, ensuring clarity and precision. For example, a single dot in the lowest position would be 1. A dot placed above a shell symbol would signify 20. 2 dots placed above 2 shell symbols would represent 40. This positional notation, similar to our own, but with a base of 20 and the crucial inclusion of 0, allowed them to express incredibly large numbers with astonishing clarity and efficiency. Numbers that would be unwieldy and confusing in other systems. Why was this so vital to them? Think back to our discussion of their calendars and their astronomical observations. To chart the precise movements of Venus across the sky for thousands of years, to predict eclipses centuries in advance, to calculate the vast, sprawling cycles of their long count calendar. All of this required the ability to work with truly enormous numbers, to manipulate them with accuracy and confidence. Without a functioning concept of zero, such precise, long-term astronomical and calendrical calculations would have been virtually impossible. A monumental task rendered insurmountable. It was the mathematical key, the silent, elegant solution that unlocked the secrets of the heavens for them. Imagine their astronomers, perhaps in a quiet, candlelit chamber, meticulously carving glyphs onto stone tablets or painting them onto bark paper, their minds grappling with cosmic distances and eons of time. The shell symbol for zero would appear again and again, a silent, humble placeholder, yet utterly indispensable to the grand tapestry of numbers they were weaving. It allowed them to track not just days, but hundreds of thousands, even millions of days, into the distant past and the unimaginable future, giving them a sense of cosmic perspective. This wasn't just about abstract theory. It had profound practical applications that shaped their world. It enabled them to construct their elaborate and precise calendars, to perfectly time their agricultural cycles for optimal harvest, to plan their grand architectural projects with an almost uncanny accuracy, and to record the vast historical narratives of their kings and gods spanning centuries, creating a continuous thread of their story. Zero was not just a number. It was a conceptual leap, a mental tool that allowed the human mind to grasp the infinite, to measure the immeasurable, and to truly understand the grand scale of the universe. So, as you visualize these ancient mathematicians, perhaps you can see that humble shell symbol for zero, not as an empty space, but as a space full of potential. A silent, powerful force that allowed the Maya to build intellectual bridges between the finite and the infinite, between the earthly and the celestial. It is a quiet testament to their intellectual prowess, a forgotten echo of a brilliant mind at work, long before many other parts of the world had even conceived of such a thing. A small, elegant shell that held an entire universe of possibilities. And as that thought settles, allow yourself to feel the simplicity and profound elegance of that single powerful shell, gently guiding you deeper into relaxation. Imagine, for a moment, the deep, velvet cloak of night descending upon the ancient Yucatan jungle. The air, thick with the scent of damp earth and unseen blossoms, hums with the symphony of 1,000 unseen creatures. Crickets begin their nightly chorus, a steady, hypnotic pulse, joining the low thrum of cicadas and the distant calls of nocturnal birds. A soft breeze, carrying the elusive aroma of orchids and wet stone, rustles through the canopy of towering ceiba trees, whispering secrets older than time itself. And above it all, a canvas of stars, so brilliant and numerous they feel close enough to touch, unfurls across the vast, inky expanse, an unimaginable diamond dust scattered upon black velvet. This was the classroom, the laboratory, the sacred temple for the Maya astronomers, a profound silence broken only by the living world around them, a silence that allowed the heavens to speak. They had no telescopes, no lenses crafted from polished glass to magnify the distant heavens. Their technology was not about amplifying sight, but about refining it. Their primary instruments were their own eyes, sharp with generations of dedicated observation, honed by countless hours spent under the open sky. But more profoundly, their architectural genius transformed solid stone into an extension of their cosmic vision, a fixed, unchanging gaze directed at the moving cosmos. Consider the magnificent, elliptical structure known as El Caracol at Chichen Itza. Its name, the snail, hints at its spiral interior staircase, a winding ascent that evokes the slow, deliberate climb toward enlightenment. But its true purpose was far grander, a celestial beacon and a terrestrial anchor. It is an observatory, not unlike the grand dome structures of modern astronomy, yet built of immense hand-carved stone, centuries before Galileo first turned his gaze skyward through a lens. It stands as a testament to their unwavering commitment to understanding the universe. You might picture yourself standing there, at the summit of one of its ancient platforms, the cool, smooth stone beneath your bare feet, absorbing the lingering heat of the day. The jungle sounds a muffled lullaby around you. Above, the stars wheel slowly, majestically across the heavens, a silent, perpetual motion. What you'd immediately notice, as your eyes adjust to the profound darkness, are the windows strategically placed, precisely angled. These weren't just openings for light or air. They were carefully calculated sight lines, each a fixed point in space and time, meticulously guiding the observer's gaze to specific celestial events. Through these narrow apertures, these silent stone eyes, the Maya priests and astronomers would meticulously track the movements of planets, the solstices, the equinoxes, and the precise times of lunar and solar eclipses. Imagine the patience, the absolute dedication required. Night after night, year after year, through generations, they would watch, chart, and record, etching their observations onto bark paper and into the very stone of their cities. They were mapping the universe with astonishing accuracy, using the very fabric of their city as their giant, stationary telescope, a calendar carved into the landscape itself. The corners of temples, the alignments of doorways, the specific orientation of entire complexes, 50, all were part of this grand celestial design. The Great Pyramid of Kukulkan, for instance, is oriented to align perfectly with the sun during the spring and autumn equinoxes, creating a mesmerizing play of light and shadow that depicts a serpent descending its steps. They understood that the universe was a giant, intricate clockwork, a divine mechanism, and their cities were built to reflect its precise divine order. The architecture wasn't merely functional, it was cosmological, a sacred geometry that connected the earthly realm to the celestial. It was a physical manifestation of their profound connection to the cosmos, a silent testament to their belief that earthly life was inextricably linked to the dance of the heavens. The stone structures became silent, patient sentinels, forever pointing skyward, forever reminding their creators of the cosmic ballet unfolding above. And in this slow, deliberate observation, in this patient communion with the stars, they discovered profound truths about the universe that resonate even today. A legacy of cosmic wisdom etched in enduring stone. Among all the celestial bodies that graced the Mayan sky, one star held a particularly profound and complex significance. Venus. Not just a bright point of light, not merely a wandering star, but a living, breathing deity, a powerful harbinger of both war and renewal. The Maya were utterly fascinated by Venus, tracking its erratic yet predictable path across the sky with a meticulousness that borders on obsession, charting its every subtle shift and transformation. Imagine the dawn breaking over the jungle canopy, painting the eastern sky in hues of rose and gold, streaked with delicate purples and oranges. And there, brilliant and defiant against the fading night, a radiant jewel, is the morning star, Venus. Its light pierces the pre-dawn gloom, a beacon of stark clarity. Or later, as the sun dips below the western horizon, melting into a fiery palette, the evening star emerges, glowing like a solitary, exquisite pearl in the deepening twilight. For the Maya, these weren't merely astronomical events. They were divine pronouncements, potent messages from the gods themselves, dictating the rhythm of their lives and the fate of their people. They calculated the Venus cycle with astonishing precision, a feat that would challenge even modern naked-eye observers. We know this because of the precious few remaining Mayan bark, paper books known as codices. One, famously known as the Dresden Codex, contains pages dedicated entirely to Venus, filled with intricate tables and glyphs that chart its complex 584 day synodic period Suin, the time it takes for Venus to return to the same position relative to the Earth and the Sunday. Their calculations were so accurate, they were within just a few hours over centuries, a testament to their unwavering focus and unparalleled observational skills. But why such an intense focus on Venus? Why this deep, unwavering fascination? Because its movements were believed to directly influence the destiny of their city-states, the outcomes of battles, and the success or failure of sacred rituals. Venus was not a benign, distant observer. It was an active, formidable participant in human affairs, a cosmic general or an oracle speaking directly to their rulers. When Venus appeared as the morning star, rising defiantly before the sun, its brilliant light cutting through the fading darkness, it was often seen as an ominous harbinger of war, a compelling signal to launch military campaigns. Its radiant ascent in the pre-dawn sky was interpreted as a sign of aggression, a divine blessing for conquest, a cosmic call to arms. Kings and warlords would consult the Venus tables, their faces grimly illuminated by torchlight, waiting for the most astrologically auspicious moment to lead their armies into battle. The very timing of their attacks, the direction of their marches, even the sacrificial rituals accompanying the campaigns, all were often meticulously dictated by the position and phase of this brilliant planet. Its presence could ignite a war, its absence could halt one. Conversely, its disappearance or reappearance could signify different phases, abiding periods of strategic retreat, of necessary regrouping, or of profound ritual cleansing and preparation. The setting of Venus in the west, as the evening star, carried its own unique set of omens and directives, perhaps guiding times of peace, careful negotiation, or focused agricultural endeavors. The rhythm of Venus, its constant dance of appearance and disappearance, its luminous rise and subtle fall, was woven into the very fabric of Mayan governance and spiritual life, a celestial clock dictating the pulse of their civilization. This wasn't just abstract astronomy. It was applied cosmology, a profound belief system integrated into every strategic decision. The celestial ballet above was a grand cosmic stage, and Venus was one of its principal, most powerful actors, a formidable force whose whims and cycles could elevate a king to unparalleled glory or doom an entire city to utter destruction. To truly understand Venus was to understand a piece of the divine mind, to glimpse the intricate will of the gods, and to attempt, through careful observation and ritual, to align human action with the powerful unseen currents of the universe. It was a star that commanded absolute attention, inspired profound awe, and quite literally guided the fates of kingdoms beneath the watchful, humid eyes of the jungle, its brilliant light casting long shadows over the decisions of kings. Now, let your gaze drift beyond the individual stars and planets, beyond the specific celestial actors, to the grand luminous band that stretches across the night sky, the Milky Way. For the ancient Maya, this wasn't just a collection of countless distant suns, a nebulous cloud of starlight. It was the very world tree, the Ceiba tree, the sacred axis of their entire cosmos. This profound concept was central to their understanding of existence, tying together the heavens, the earthly realm of humanity, and the shadowy underworld in a single, magnificent, living entity, a cosmic connection of profound significance. Imagine yourself lying beneath the vast open sky far from any city lights, the jungle's breath cool on your skin, the air thick with the symphony of the night. Above you, the Milky Way shimmers, a celestial river of light, a pathway made of stardust, a shimmering veil between worlds. For the Maya, this wasn't a random smear of stars. It was the cosmic manifestation of the Ceiba tree, a tree of immense spiritual significance in Mesoamerica, known for its towering height, its distinctive buttressed trunk, and its majestic reaching canopy. It stood as a symbol of life, creation, and the enduring connection between all realms. The world tree served as the vertical axis of their universe, the central pillar supporting all of existence. Its deep, powerful roots anchored firmly in Xibalba, the shadowy underworld, the realm of ancestors, spirits, and primordial gods, a place of both fear and wisdom. Its mighty trunk, reaching through the earthly plane where humans lived, connected us to both the spiritual depths below and the divine heights above, a bridge for souls and energies. And its expansive leafy canopy, bursting forth with celestial blossoms of starlight, spread throughout the heavens, the realm of the sky gods, the birthplace of stars and the home of creation, the source of all life-giving forces. This cosmic Ceiba tree was more than just a symbol. It was the very structure that held the universe together, preventing chaos and ensuring order. It was the conduit through which divine energy flowed, through which prayers ascended from humanity and blessings descended from the gods. It represented creation itself, the fundamental source of life, and the ultimate destination in the spiritual journey, a return to the cosmic origins. Many Mayan temples and stelae feature intricate carvings of this world tree, often with a sacred bird perched atop its highest branches, representing the celestial realm, and a deity emerging from its trunk, symbolizing life and creation. A visual narrative of their deepest beliefs. At the heart of this cosmic tree, specifically where the Milky Way appears to fork or branch, sever in a dense, luminous region near the constellation Sagittarius, a place of immense cosmic power. The Maya identified the galactic center. They saw this as the ultimate nexus, the primordial hearth, the very birthplace of the universe. It was from this cosmic womb that all creation sprung, where time itself began its endless cycle, and where the cycle of death and rebirth endlessly turned, a place of ultimate power and transformation. This world tree cosmology permeated every aspect of Mayan life, from their agricultural practices, which mirrored the cycles of growth and decay in the earth, to their elaborate rituals, which sought to maintain balance and connection with these cosmic forces, ensuring the continuity of life. Their architecture, their intricate art, their enduring myths, all echoed the profound symbolism of the Seba, a constant reminder of their place in the grand design. So, when you gaze at the Milky Way stretching across the night sky, perhaps you can glimpse just for a moment the ancient Mayan vision, not just a band of stars, but the very spine of the universe, a living, breathing tree connecting all realms, reminding us that we are but a small yet significant part of a much larger, interconnected, and profoundly sacred cosmos. It is a humbling thought, a quiet whisper across millennia, that the universe itself is a grand living entity, and we are nestled gently within its ancient cosmic embrace, held by its vast starlit branches. As you drift deeper into the jungle's embrace, let your mind turn to the silent whispers etched into stone. The Maya, masters of time and celestial dance, also commanded the very fabric of language, shaping it into something truly extraordinary. Imagine, if you will, a language not just of sounds, but of breathtaking images, where every swirl and curve tells a story, where history is not merely written, but painted onto the very face of time itself. These are the talking hieroglyphs, the intricate script of the Maya. For centuries, they were a profound enigma, a series of beautiful, almost alien, carvings that adorned pyramids, stelae, and the fragile pages of bark paper books. But these weren't simple pictures. Oh no, they were far more sophisticated, a tapestry woven with threads of sound and meaning, where a tiny bird's head might represent a phonetic syllable, while a stylized hand could convey an entire complex concept. It is as if each glyph is a miniature world, holding secrets within its elegant borders, inviting your gaze to linger, to absorb the silent stories. Picture a scribe, perhaps under the gentle flicker of a torch in a humid temple chamber. Their hand, steady and practiced, carves into a limestone slab or paints onto a soft prepared bark sheet. The tools are simple, a sharp flint chisel, a fine brush made from animal hair, pigments derived from plants and minerals, rich and deep. But the result is anything but. Each character is a testament to precision and artistry, a small masterpiece in itself. You might see the profile of a king, his elaborate headdress rendered with meticulous detail, feathers fanning out like a sunrise. Beside him, a jaguar's snarling maw, teeth paired, conveying raw power, or a serene water lily, its petals unfurling in quiet symmetry, speaking of fertility and rebirth. But these aren't just decorative elements. They are the very words of his reign, the deeds of his ancestors, the prophecies of his seers, all carefully preserved. Unlike many early writing systems that were purely pictographic or purely phonetic, Maya script found a harmonious balance. It's like a complex musical score, where some notes tell you point what to play, and others tell you point how to feel, how to interpret the emotion and weight of the passage. A single glyph could be a logogram, representing a whole word or idea, like a simple emoji, but with layers of cultural resonance, a deeper meaning understood only by those steeped in Maya thought. Or it could be a syllabogram, representing a syllable suti, a consonant and a vowel sound, the building blocks of spoken language. The genius lies in their flexible combination. A scribe could write a word using a pure logogram, or they could spell it out phonetically with a series of syllabograms, or even use a mix of both, almost like a playful riddle for the initiated, an elegant dance between image and sound that flows across the stone or page. This intricate dance of image and sound allowed them to record everything from the grand cycles of the cosmos to the intimate details of daily life, though the surviving texts largely focus on the elite. Imagine scrolling through the annals of kings, the dates of their birth marked with specific calendrical glyphs, their glorious ascensions to power, often depicted with a ruler enthroned above a sacred mountain. You'd read the names of their parents, the deities they honored with offerings of blood and precious jade, the cities they conquered, their triumphs etched in triumphant script. You'd find descriptions of blood-letting rituals they performed to nourish the gods and maintain cosmic balance, their own royal blood flowing as a sacred offering. It is a vast, interconnected web of information, a meticulously documented lineage that stretches back through generations, binding the living rulers to their deified ancestors, giving them authority and connection to the divine. Each monumental stela, standing silently in the jungle's embrace, weathered by centuries of sun and rain, is like an open book to those who can read its scarred, beautiful face. These aren't just abstract symbols, they are the voices of long-dead rulers, speaking across millennia, their legacies solidified in stone. They tell of alliances formed between powerful city-states, sealed with royal marriages. They speak of battles fought, armies clashing in the dense rainforest, and they meticulously record the sacred calendar dates that governed every aspect of existence, from the planting of crops to the inauguration of a new temple. Sometimes you might find a glyph that depicts a specific person, perhaps a captive king, identifiable by his distinctive headdress or facial features, a chilling reminder of conquest. Other times, the text describes a grand ball game, detailing the players and the ceremonial stakes, an event far more spiritual than athletic. Consider the precision. The Maya recorded dates with astonishing accuracy, often linking events to astronomical phenomena, demonstrating a profound understanding of the celestial dance. A king's coronation might be tied to the zenith passage of the sun, when the sun passes directly overhead, casting no shadow at noon, a powerful symbol of divine favor. Or a crucial battle might coincide with a significant phase of Venus, the war star believed to influence earthly conflicts. Their script allowed them to embed these temporal anchors, creating a historical record that was both detailed and cosmically aligned. It's a language that breathed with the pulse of the universe, each character a tiny piece of the grand cosmic narrative, a profound connection between the terrestrial and the celestial. The beauty of these hieroglyphs is not just in their aesthetic appeal, but in their ability to convey profound meaning with such elegance, such economy of form. They invite you to lean closer to trace their contours, to imagine the stories they held within their quiet, etched forms. They are windows into a worldview that saw no sharp division between the sacred and the mundane, where every act, every birth, every death was part of a larger divine plan, meticulously recorded for eternity on stone and bark, waiting patiently for someone to listen, to decipher their ancient, compelling voices. Asterisk, 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 yet, for all their brilliance, a shadow falls over this vibrant script, a loss that echoes through the centuries, deepening the mystery of this profound civilization. Imagine, if you will, vast libraries, not of paper and ink as we know them, but of delicate bark paper, folded like screens, each page filled with those exquisite hieroglyphs. These were the Maya codices, living books that held the accumulated wisdom of generations, astronomical calculations that charted the movements of stars across millennia with breathtaking accuracy, medical texts detailing remedies derived from the rainforest's bounty, prophecies whispered by priests, guiding the fate of rulers and common folk, and the intricate histories of powerful dynasties, their triumphs and tragedies meticulously recorded. They were fragile treasures meticulously crafted from the inner bark of fig trees, then coated with a fine layer of plaster and painted with vibrant, lasting pigments sue the vivid blues, reds, and yellows that still captivate us today. Each one was a universe unto itself, a testament to Maya intellect and artistry, a direct link to their deepest thoughts and most profound observations. Then came the year 1562. A man named Diego de Landa, a Spanish Franciscan friar, arrived in Yucatan with a zealous mission to convert the indigenous population to Christianity, to purify their souls in the eyes of his God. He saw the codices not as invaluable repositories of knowledge, but as works of the devil, pagan idols to be purged, their ancient wisdom a threat to the new faith he sought to impose. On the 12th of July, in the town of Mayan, under his command, a colossal bonfire was lit. Into its hungry flames went thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of these priceless books, their silent stories consumed by the inferno. Picture the scene, the crackling of dry bark, the acrid smoke curling upwards into the humid tropical sky, carrying with it the dying whispers of ancient knowledge. Each fragile page, once teeming with life and wisdom, with the careful brushstrokes of scribes and the profound insights of astronomers, shriveled and blackened, then turned to ash, scattering on the wind. The vibrant colors, the precise lines, the profound stories, the very essence of a culture's accumulated memory, 40, all consumed, obliterated, in a single devastating act of cultural destruction. The heat would have been immense, the loss immeasurable. It is a moment of profound quiet tragedy, a wound that never truly healed, not a loud violent battle, but a slow deliberate burning away of an entire civilization's memory, a systematic eradication of their intellectual heritage. Imagine losing virtually all the writings of ancient Greece, or having the Library of Alexandria utterly annihilated, not by accident, but by zealous design. That is the scale of the intellectual void left by this act, a silence that resonates through the centuries, making our understanding of the Maya tragically incomplete. What was lost cannot be truly quantified. The intricate details of Maya science, their spiritual beliefs, their nuanced understanding of the natural world, their complex societal structures, so much of it vanished in that inferno, leaving us with only fragments to piece together. Only a mere handful, a heartbreakingly small number, of these codices survived the conflagration, hidden away perhaps, or overlooked in the fervor of destruction. 4, to be exact, are authenticated and recognized today. The Dresden, Madrid, Paris, and Grolier codices. These scattered fragments are all that remain of a once flourishing literary tradition. They are like single, torn pages from an epic saga, giving us tantalizing glimpses of a grand narrative, but leaving us to forever wonder about the vast, rich chapters that were lost to the flames. The Dresden Codex, for instance, offers astonishing insights into Maya astronomy, with tables for predicting lunar and solar eclipses with incredible accuracy, and the precise cycles of Venus, tying its movements to earthly rituals. It is a marvel of ancient science. Yet we can only speculate about the other codices that might have held even more profound revelations. Perhaps maps of distant star systems, or detailed botanical remedies that could have revolutionized ancient medicine, or even philosophical treatises that spoke to the very nature of existence. This act of book burning didn't just destroy physical objects, it severed a vital pulsing connection to the past. It deepened the shroud of mystery that already surrounded the Maya, transforming them into an even more enigmatic civilization. Without their own voices, speaking through their own words, we are left to piece together their story from fragmented stone inscriptions and archaeological remains, forever grappling with the silence left behind by the flames. It's a poignant reminder of how fragile human knowledge can be, how easily a civilization's intellectual legacy can be extinguished by ignorance or fear, and how deeply we still yearn to hear those lost voices from the ashes, to recover even a whisper of what was so cruelly taken. Asterisk now, against the backdrop of that immense loss, consider the remarkable journey of discovery that followed. For centuries after the initial colonial encounter, the Maya script remained a stubborn cipher, an unyielding wall of beautiful yet unintelligible symbols. Scholars gazed at the intricate glyphs on temple walls and the few surviving codices, knowing they held immense meaning, knowing they concealed profound histories and wisdom, but utterly lacking the key to unlock their secrets. It was as if a chorus of ancient voices was singing, but in a language no one living understood, a song of stone and pigment that echoed unheard through the jungle. The task of decipherment was not a single aha moment, a sudden flash of complete understanding, but a slow, painstaking process, akin to assembling an incredibly complex jigsaw puzzle, with most of the pieces missing and no picture on the box to guide you. It was a true intellectual quest, spanning generations, involving the patient eyes and brilliant minds of linguists, archaeologists, and art historians from around the world, each contributing a tiny vital piece. Imagine a scholar, perhaps a meticulous epigrapher, hunched over a rubbing of a stela discovered deep within the jungle. The air is thick with humidity, heavy and still, the sounds of unseen creatures providing a rhythmic, almost hypnotic backdrop to their quiet work. They trace the contours of a glyph with a practiced finger, comparing it to another found hundreds of miles away, looking for subtle patterns, for repetitions, for any faint echo of meaning that might hint at a connection. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, in this quiet, dedicated pursuit. The breakthrough came gradually, piecemeal, like the slow dawn after a long night. One crucial step involved identifying calendar dates, because the Maya had a highly sophisticated and precise calendar system. The numerical glyphs and period glyphs, representing days, months, years, and larger cycles, were relatively consistent across different inscriptions. Once these were recognized, once their fixed values were understood, scholars had an anchor, a fixed point in the dizzying flow of the script. Suddenly, a series of glyphs could be translated, not just as a long time ago, but as on this specific day, 9.17.0.0.0 in the long count calendar, placing events within a concrete, measurable timeline. Another vital clue came from the names of rulers. Like a detective examining a king's social network, Suti, his family, his allies, his enemies, his consorts, his captive foes, FT epigraphers realized that royal names often appeared alongside portraits or specific, documented events. If a distinct glyph block consistently appeared next to the image of a certain king, clearly identifiable by his distinctive features or ornate headdress, it was a strong indicator that this block represented his name or title. Then, by comparing texts from different cities, where the same king might have visited, waged war, or sealed an alliance, these name glyphs could be cross-referenced and further confirmed, building a reliable lexicon. Think of it like this: if you found a series of ancient tweets or fragmented messages, and one particular profile picture always appeared next to a recurring string of characters, you'd start to suspect those characters were that person's name, or perhaps a recurring hashtag. The Maya texts, especially the monumental inscriptions, were often public declarations, celebrating a ruler's achievements, marking alliances through marriage, or commemorating successful battles. These public announcements provided context like news headlines, helping to anchor the meaning of the surrounding text. The phonetic aspect of the script was particularly challenging and revolutionary. Early scholars, often influenced by the understanding of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, often assumed Maya script was purely logographic, meaning each symbol represented an entire word or idea. But a brilliant Russian linguist named Yuri Norizov, in the 1950s, proposed that many Maya glyphs were phonetic, representing syllables. His work initially met with skepticism and even derision in some academic circles, proved to be a turning point, shattering previous assumptions. He used Diego de Landa's infamous alphabet, which was actually a syllabary misunderstood by Landa, but preserved in his writings as a starting point, slowly unlocking the sounds hidden within the images, giving voice to the voiceless. This allowed scholars to sound out words, to understand how a combination of syllabic glyphs would form a spoken Maya word. It was like finally hearing the music that had been silent for so long, the melodic rhythm of their ancient tongue. The discovery was revolutionary. Suddenly, names of cities like Tikal and Calakmul, descriptions of actions, and even grammatical particles began to emerge from the stone, transforming static images into dynamic, living narratives. The texts, once mute, began to speak. They revealed not just dry dates, but vibrant histories, the cunning strategies and grand construction projects of King Pakal of Palenque, whose tomb revealed astonishing insights into Maya cosmology. They told of the artistic patronage and political power of Lady Sixsknai of Naranjo, a formidable queen. They detailed the fierce rivalries and proxy wars between Tikal and Calakmul, two powerful superpowers of the classical Maya world, their long-standing feuds chronicled with dramatic flair. It became clear that Maya society was not a monolithic empire, but a complex tapestry of independent city-states, each with its own dynastic struggles, intricate alliances, and declarations of war, all meticulously recorded in their unique script. Through this dedicated work, often conducted in remote jungle camps, under a canopy of stars, or in hushed museum archives beneath the glow of reading lamps, the Maya have, in a sense, risen again. Their voices, though once silenced by flame and forgotten by time, are now slowly, patiently being heard, allowing us to glimpse the rich, intricate tapestry of their ancient world. one rediscovered glyph at a time. The quiet hum of scholarly dedication, piecing together fragments of the past, continues to illuminate the profound intelligence and artistry of this truly remarkable civilization, inviting us to listen ever more closely to the whispers on the stone slabs. And as the tropical night settles softly over the ancient stones, we turn our gaze to a color, a hue so profound, so enduring, it seems to defy the very march of time. Imagine a shade of blue, not just any blue, but a brilliant, almost impossibly vibrant azure, a pigment that has graced murals and pottery and ceremonial objects for over 1,000 years, still holding its intensity as if painted yesterday. This is the mystery of Maya blue. It is a color that stands apart, unlike anything else in the ancient world, resilient against the harsh elements of the jungle fisti, the incessant humidity, the baking sun, the relentless creep of time. While other pigments faded, flaked, and dissolved back into the earth, Maya blue remained, stubbornly luminous. It adorned the walls of temples, the surfaces of pottery, the bodies of ritual participants, a splash of cerulean that connected the earthly realm to the sky and the rain gods. Its very persistence was, for centuries, an enigma. How could a pigment, crafted in a civilization that predated modern chemistry by millennia, possess such incredible durability? For generations, the recipe for this particular blue was lost. The Spanish conquistadors, in their zeal to erase the old ways, burned countless Maya codices, those precious bark paper books filled with their knowledge, their history, and almost certainly the detailed instructions for creating this miraculous hue. The secret seemed to vanish into the smoky ruins of a collapsing empire, leaving behind only the evidence of its existence on scattered artifacts, a silent testament to a lost art. It wasn't until the meticulous work of modern archaeologists and scientists that the secret began to unfurl like an ancient scroll slowly unrolling. They analyzed fragments of painted plaster and pottery, peering into the molecular structure of the color itself. What they discovered was not a simple mineral or plant dye, but a sophisticated, almost alchemical compound. Maya blue is, at its heart, a unique marriage of organic and inorganic. It is primarily composed of two ingredients: indigo, a plant-based dye that on its own is prone to fading, and palygorskite clay, a specific type of white clay with an unusual porous, fibrous structure. The magic, it turned out, lay in the process. The Maya didn't just mix these ingredients. They heated them, carefully, patiently, until the indigo molecules became trapped within the microscopic channels and pores of the palygorskite clay. Imagine millions of tiny cages, each one perfectly holding a vibrant blue molecule hostage, protecting it from light, from water, from decay. This process created an entirely new pigment, one that was far more stable and resistant to environmental degradation than either component alone. It was an act of profound chemical understanding, achieved not through beakers and Bunsen burners, but through generations of empirical observation, experimentation, and a deep intuitive knowledge of the natural world around them. So, when you see that striking blue on an ancient Maya artifact, remember the subtle genius it represents. It speaks of a people who could coax permanence from the fleeting, who could blend the plant world with the mineral kingdom to create a color that whispered across centuries, a vibrant echo of their profound connection to the cosmos and their remarkable grasp of the earth's hidden properties. It is a symbol, enduring and bright, of their artistic vision and their unsung chemical prowess. Now, let us shift from the enduring hues on temple walls to the thunderous echoes within the hallowed courts, where the Maya played a game unlike any other, a spectacle woven deeply into the fabric of their spiritual life. This wasn't merely a sport for entertainment. It was a cosmic drama, a sacred ritual played out on stone, often with the gravest of stakes. Imagine a ball court, an imposing eye-shaped structure, often flanked by high, sloping walls, sometimes reaching several stories into the sky. The sound of a heavy rubber ball, perhaps weighing several pounds, echoing with a deep, resonant thud against the stone walls and the players' bodies. This was the Maya ball game. The objective was deceptively simple: propel the solid rubber ball, often through a small stone ring positioned high up on the court's walls, or simply keep it in play, preventing it from touching the ground. But here is the catch. Players were forbidden to use their hands or feet. Instead, they used their hips, knees, and elbows, encased in protective padding crafted from leather or cotton. Imagine the athleticism required, the sheer force and dexterity needed to control such a dense, bouncing object, to twist and turn, sending it soaring towards that distant ring, all without the aid of your most agile limbs. The game was physically brutal, demanding incredible strength, agility, and endurance. Players often wore elaborate, sometimes heavy, regalia-feathered headdresses, ornate belts, and masked suni, adding to the ceremonial weight of the occasion. But the true weight of the ball game lay not in its physical demands, but in its profound spiritual significance. For the Maya, the ball game was a reenactment of the epic struggle between the hero twins, Hunahpu and Ixbalanque, and the lords of Xibalba, the underworld as recounted in their sacred text, the Popol Vuh. It was a symbolic battle between light and darkness, order and chaos, life and death. Each bounce of the ball, each strategic move, was a dance with destiny, a mirroring of the celestial mechanics and the ceaseless cycles of creation and destruction. And often, the outcome of this cosmic struggle had very real, very human consequences. The ball game was intimately connected with rituals of human sacrifice. Imagine the hush, the tension, as the final point was scored, or as the game reached its dramatic conclusion. In some instances, the losing captain or even the entire losing team would be sacrificed. Their blood, spilled on the sacred ground of the ball court, was seen as a vital offering to the gods, nourishing the sun and ensuring the continuation of the world. In other, perhaps more perplexing, accounts, it was the 30 victorious city captain who was honored with the ultimate sacrifice, a direct passage to the divine, his heart offered as the most precious gift to the heavens. The atmosphere in these ball courts must have been electric, a potent mix of reverence and raw energy. Thousands of spectators, from kings and nobles to commoners, would gather, their chants and cries rising to meet the jungle canopy. They were not merely watching a game. They were participating in a profound religious event, a sacred drama unfolding before their very eyes, where the line between athlete and offering, between sport and sacrament, was terrifyingly thin. The ball game was a powerful reminder of the Maya worldview, that life was precious, but also fleeting, and that existence itself was maintained through a delicate balance of sacrifice and renewal, a constant offering to the powerful forces that govern their universe. It was a game where the ultimate prize might not be victory, but a direct, unmediated journey into the embrace of the gods. From the sun-drenched, echoing ball courts, we now descend, metaphorically and often literally, into a world beneath the surface, a place where the earth opens up to reveal its hidden secrets and its life-giving waters. We are speaking of the cenotes, the natural sinkholes that dot the landscape of the Yucatan Peninsula, unique geological formations that were far more than just water sources for the ancient Maya. For them, these tranquil, often hauntingly beautiful pools were sacred portals, gateways to the underworld, and dwelling places of the powerful rain god, Kayak. Imagine standing at the edge of one of these cenotes. Perhaps it is an open, sun-drenched pool, its turquoise waters clear and still, reflecting the lush jungle canopy above. Or perhaps it is a cavern cenote, where you step into a cool, damp twilight, the only light filtering through a small opening in the limestone ceiling, illuminating ancient stalactites reaching down like stony fingers. The air is humid and still, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and unseen vegetation. Roots of massive ceiba trees, the sacred world tree of the Maya, often hang down into the water, reaching for that precious liquid like celestial veins. The Yucatan Peninsula is a land largely devoid of rivers. Beneath its thin, porous topsoil lies a vast network of underground rivers and caves, carved out over millennia as rainwater dissolved the soluble limestone bedrock. When the ceilings of these underground caverns collapse, they reveal the hidden waterways, creating these breathtaking natural wells. For the Maya, who depended entirely on rainfall and groundwater, the cenotes were absolutely vital. They were their primary source of fresh, potable water in a challenging environment. Without them, large-scale settlement would have been impossible. But their significance extended far beyond mere utility. The cenotes were imbued with a profound spiritual meaning. They were considered sacred places, a tangible link between the human world, the heavens above, and the mysterious, often terrifying realm of Xibalba, the underworld. The still, dark waters, often plunging to unknown depths, seemed to beckon, to promise passage to another dimension. It was believed that Kayak, the benevolent but sometimes fearsome rain god, resided within their cool depths, his blessings essential for the life, giving rains that nurtured their crops. As such, cenotes became focal points for elaborate religious rituals and pilgrimages. The Maya would come to these sacred wells to offer sacrifices, seeking favor from Kayak, praying for rain, or communicating with ancestors and deities in the underworld. Imagine the solemn processions, the hushed prayers, the ritualistic offerings cast into the clear, deep waters. Archaeologists exploring the cenotes have made astonishing discoveries, pulling back the veil on these ancient practices. They have found a wealth of artifacts, intricately carved jade, precious gold, elaborate pottery, and incense burners. Each item was a deliberate offering, a plea or a thank you to the gods. But perhaps the most poignant discoveries have been the human remains. Skeletons of men, women, and children, often bearing signs of ritual sacrifice, have been recovered from the silty beds of these sacred pools. These were not just accidental drownings. These were carefully chosen individuals, offered as the ultimate gift to the gods, their lives exchanged for the continued prosperity of their people, or perhaps to appease a deity in times of drought or crisis. Imagine the chilling solemnity of such a moment, a young life given to the dark, cool embrace of the earth. Water, a final journey through the watery portal to the other side. The cenotes, therefore, are places of striking duality, sources of life-sustaining water, yet also sites of death and profound spiritual mystery. They stand as silent witnesses to the Maya's deep reverence for the natural world and their complex understanding of life, death, and the cosmos. When you imagine the Maya, remember these hidden watery chambers where the jungle's sounds are muffled and the cool, ancient waters whisper tales of gods, sacrifices, and a civilization deeply connected to the very heart of their earth. They are truly the ancient world's natural cathedrals, carved by water and time, holding within their depths the secrets of a lost spirituality. Moving from the grand cosmic scale to the intricacies of the human form, we turn our gaze to a most peculiar and permanent form of Maya artistry, one that sculpted not clay or stone, but the very skulls of their nobility. In a world where status was paramount and identity often etched into every aspect of life, the Maya developed an aesthetic that might seem startling to our modern eyes. Yet to them, it was a mark of supreme elegance and connection to the divine. Imagine, if you will, a new life, barely a few days or weeks old, nestled in the warmth of a Maya home. For common folk, this infancy would unfold naturally, allowing the head to form in its typical rounded shape. But for the children of the elite, the princes and princesses, the future rulers and high priests, a different destiny awaited their delicate craniums. Almost immediately after birth, a process would begin, a gentle yet firm intervention in nature's course, cranial deformation. Two flat pieces of wood, often padded with soft cloths or leaves, would be carefully positioned around the infant's head. One board rested against the forehead, the other against the back of the head, and they would be bound together ever so slightly with soft ties. This was not a forceful, sudden pressure, but a slow, persistent embrace designed to guide the natural growth of the still, pliable skull. Picture this scene: a mother, perhaps a priestess or a noblewoman, meticulously adjusting the bindings each day, ensuring the comfort of her child while subtly reshaping their future. This was a daily ritual, a patient act of love and ambition carried out over months, sometimes even years, until the desired form was achieved. The result was a distinctive, elongated, often flattened forehead stretching gracefully upwards and backwards. It was a visible, undeniable declaration of one's lineage and standing. No longer just a child, but a future leader, literally molded for greatness. You would look upon a noble, and immediately, without a single word being spoken, understand their elevated place in society. This was not simply a fashion statement. It was a deeply ingrained cultural practice, a symbol of high status, intellect, and beauty. Why such a profound alteration? The reasons were manifold and deeply woven into the fabric of Maya beliefs. For one, an elongated head was often associated with certain deities, particularly the maize god, a central figure in their pantheon. To physically resemble the gods was to embody a fragment of their divine essence, to draw closer to the source of creation and wisdom. It was believed to enhance intelligence, or at least visually represent a mind cultivated for complex thought and spiritual insight. Furthermore, in a society where intricate patterns of jade, shell, and feathers adorned the body, the shaped skull was the ultimate permanent ornament, a living sculpture that transcended fleeting adornment. It separated the noble from the commoner, marking them as distinct, as chosen. When you envisioned a king, a queen, or a high-ranking priest, you would picture not just their regal attire, but their uniquely formed head, a silent testament to their birthright and destiny. The process itself, while perhaps uncomfortable initially, was likely not painful in the long run, akin to how our modern orthodontics gradually reshape teeth. It was simply part of being born into a certain class, a rite of passage into a life of privilege and responsibility. And for the individual, once complete, it was simply phi, the their head, a familiar and accepted part of their identity, a beautiful and powerful expression of who they were meant to be. This ancient practice speaks volumes about the Mayas' intricate social structures and their unwavering belief in the connection between the physical form and spiritual identity. From the sculpted heads of the elite, we now turn our attention to something equally central to Maya life, yet far more tangible and ubiquitous: the cacao bean. This humble seed, nestled within its large, colorful pod, held an extraordinary duality in Maya society. It was both a sacred sustenance, the food of the gods, and a practical, indispensable form of currency, the very heartbeat of their economy. Imagine a world where your morning coffee is not just a drink, but your day's wages. For the Maya, cacao beans occupied a similar, profound position. Picture the humid, verdant lowlands, where cacao trees, delicate and demanding, flourished under the protective canopy of larger rainforest trees. Growing these trees was an art and a science, requiring careful cultivation, shading, and protection from pests. Once harvested, the pods were opened, revealing beans nestled in a sweet, pulpy fruit. These beans would then undergo a meticulous process of fermentation and drying, unlocking their rich, complex flavors and aromas. For the nobility enduring sacred rituals, cacao transformed into a frothy, potent drink. Envision a Maya artisan grinding roasted cacao beans into a fine paste, perhaps mixing it with water, a touch of chili for a kick, or even cornmeal for body. This concoction would then be poured from a height or whipped vigorously to create a thick, enticing foam that was highly prized. You might taste a bitter, earthy richness, perhaps with a subtle, spicy warmth, a flavor far removed from the sweetened chocolate we know today. This was not merely a beverage, it was a spiritual experience, consumed during ceremonies, offerings to the gods, and as a symbol of power and prestige. To drink cacao was to partake in the divine, to connect with the very essence of life and fertility. It was a luxury, a privilege reserved for those who held sway over the land and its people. But beyond its ceremonial and aristocratic role, cacao beans held another, equally vital function. They were the hard currency of the Maya world. Envision bustling market squares, vibrant with color and sound, deep within cities like Tikal or Calakmul. Here, you wouldn't find coins or paper money. Instead, transactions were measured in carefully counted cacao beans. A handful of beans might buy you a fresh fish or a woven basket. A slightly larger pouch could procure a new tunic or a clay pot. For more substantial purchases, perhaps a rabbit or a particularly skilled artisan's services, you might hand over hundreds of beans. Even more remarkably, a slave could be bought for 1,000 beans or so, a stark reminder of the bean's significant value and the social realities of the time. This made cacao cultivation not just an agricultural pursuit, but an economic imperative. It fueled trade across city-states, allowing goods from distant regions to flow into Maya markets. Farmers paid their taxes in cacao. Warriors received their stipends in cacao. The entire economic structure was underpinned by this single precious commodity. Imagine the care with which these beans were handled, stored, and transported. They were literally liquid gold, or perhaps more accurately, bean gold, driving the engine of a sophisticated civilization. The sheer volume of transactions, the meticulous counting, the widespread acceptance of this natural product as universal tender, it paints a vivid picture of a complex society that mastered both symbolic spirituality and practical commerce, all through the humble, yet powerful cacao bean. It reminds us that even the simplest elements of nature can become cornerstones of an entire civilization. From the precious beans that fueled their daily lives and grand rituals, our journey through the Maya world now takes us to one of their most awe-inspiring architectural marvels, a structure that seems to breathe with an ancient magic, weaving together astronomy, mathematics, and a profound understanding of sound itself. We are speaking of the majestic Kukulkan Pyramid, often known as El Castillo, standing proudly at the heart of Chichen Itza. Imagine yourself standing at the very base of this colossal stone edifice, its 9-stepped terraces rising dramatically towards the sky, culminating in the temple dedicated to the feathered serpent god. The air is warm and still, perhaps with the distant hum of the jungle. You raise your hands and clap once, a simple, clear sound echoing in the open space. And then something extraordinary happens. A precise, almost eerie echo returns to you, not just a mundane reverberation, but a distinct chirping sound, remarkably similar to the call of the sacred Quetzal bird. Picture the Quetzal, a bird of breathtaking beauty. Its vibrant emerald plumage shimmering, its long, flowing tail feathers revered as symbols of divinity and freedom. For the Maya, the Quetzal was deeply intertwined with Kukulkan, the feathered serpent god, a deity of creation, wisdom, and the wind. To hear its call, emanating from the very stone of the pyramid, must have been nothing short of miraculous, a direct communication from the divine realm. This acoustic marvel has puzzled and fascinated archaeologists and acousticians for decades. Was it an intentional act of architectural genius, a deliberate sonic illusion crafted by the ancient Maya engineers? Or was it a magnificent, awe-inspiring accident, a fortunate byproduct of their geometric precision and their masterful understanding of stone and space? The debate continues to this day, adding another layer of mystique to an already enigmatic civilization. If it was intentional, it speaks volumes about the Maya's profound knowledge of acoustics, a science we often associate with much later civilizations. Imagine the architects, long before the age of modern physics, experimenting with the angles of the steps, the height of the terraces, the very composition of the stone, to create such a specific and powerful effect. They would have calculated not only the visual alignment of the pyramid with celestial events, but also its auditory resonance, shaping sound waves to evoke the presence of a sacred bird, to bring the voice of Kukulkan to life for the throngs gathered below. Such an achievement would place them amongst the most sophisticated acoustical engineers of the ancient world. They understood how sound waves reflect, converge, and distort, and they deliberately designed a massive stone structure to mimic a natural, revered sound. But even if it were an accidental phenomenon, a happy coincidence born from their unwavering pursuit of astronomical alignment and geometric perfection, it is no less astounding. It highlights the incredible precision with which these pyramids were constructed, layer by painstaking layer, each stone cut and placed with such exactitude that it inadvertently created this resonant wonder. The pyramid, viewed as a terrestrial mountain reaching for the heavens, becomes a living, breathing entity, its stone heart beating with the call of a sacred bird. Standing there, listening to that ethereal chirp, you can almost feel the presence of the ancient Maya, their reverence for the cosmos, their deep connection to the natural world, and their unparalleled ingenuity. It's a moment that transcends time, a whisper from the past carried on the very air, inviting you to wonder at the depths of human creativity and the enduring mysteries embedded in stone. The Kukulkan Pyramid is not just a monument. It is a symphony of stone, light, and sound, forever holding the secret of its magical voice. And as the sun begins its slow, deliberate descent towards the horizon during the spring and autumn equinoxes, something truly remarkable unfolds upon the Great Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza. It is not merely a play of light and shadow, but a carefully orchestrated spectacle, a celestial message carved in stone, a testament to the Mayas' profound understanding of the cosmos and their masterful ability to translate that knowledge into monumental architecture. Imagine, if you will, the anticipation, the hushed reverence of the ancient throngs gathered at the base of this majestic structure. The air would be thick with the scent of copal incense, the murmurs of prayers, and the soft rhythmic rustle of palm fronds in the jungle breeze. As the sun dips lower, its golden rays strike the northwestern corner of the pyramid's 9 terraces at a precise, almost surgical angle. Slowly, steadily, a series of 7 triangles of light and shadow begin to appear, crawling, slithering down the northern staircase. Each triangle forms a segment, a distinct geometric patch of darkness against the lighter stone. They are not random. They are meticulously aligned, perfectly spaced. And as they progress, as the light shifts and dances across the ancient limestone, these triangles of shadow merge, coalesce, and articulate themselves into something unmistakably organic. What emerges is the stunning visual manifestation of the feathered serpent god, Kukulkan, the patron deity of Chichen Itza, descending from the heavens to bless the earth. The shadows curve and undulate, mimicking the sinuous body of a colossal serpent, its form taking shape along the edge of the staircase. At the base of the pyramid, 2 colossal stone serpent heads, complete with bared fangs and gaping mouths, patiently await, completing the illusion. The shadow forms a perfectly rendered body, connecting to these stone heads, giving the impression that the massive deity is truly slithering down the pyramid steps, bridging the celestial and terrestrial realms. It's a moment of breathtaking artistry and precision, a silent, powerful sermon in stone, reminding all who witnessed it of the divine order, of the cycles of creation and renewal, and of the Maya's unbreakable connection to the heavens. This isn't an accident. This isn't a happy coincidence of sunlight and ancient building techniques. This is a deliberate design, a sophisticated calendrical marker, a grand theatrical performance built into the very fabric of the pyramid itself. It speaks volumes of the architects' deep astronomical knowledge, their advanced mathematical computations, and their engineering genius. They understood the sun's path with such exactitude, calculated the angles of the pyramid with such precision, that they could command light itself to tell a story, to bring their most revered deity to life, if only for a few fleeting moments each year. It's a silent, awe-inspiring display that continues to unfold to this very day, a quiet whisper from a civilization that read the sky like an open book and wrote its sacred stories in the language of stone and shadow. You can almost feel the gentle warmth of the sun tracing these ancient lines, watching the slow, deliberate dance of light that has played out for over 1,000 years. A timeless spectacle of reverence and engineering brilliance. And as you consider the sheer scale and complexity of such structures, another profound mystery begins to unfurl. One that speaks to the very bedrock of Maya ingenuity and perseverance. How did they achieve such monumental feats of construction? Imagine the dense, green embrace of the Mesoamerican rainforest, a landscape teeming with life, yet also a formidable barrier. The very air is thick and humid, heavy with the scent of rich earth and damp vegetation. Deep within this verdant labyrinth, the Maya quarried their stone, not soft, easily carved limestone, but often substantial blocks, weighing many tons. Now picture this, a civilization that, by all archaeological evidence, did not possess the wheel for practical transport. They had no draft animals, no oxen, no horses, no beasts of burden to haul their immense loads. The closest thing they had to a modern engine was the collective strength of human muscle, bone, and sheer, unwavering will. How, then, did these colossal stones, freshly hewn from their jungle quarries, make their journey to the bustling construction sites of cities like Tikal, Calakmul, or Palenque? It is a question that has puzzled archaeologists and engineers for centuries, a silent testament to an extraordinary triumph over formidable logistical challenges. The prevailing theories suggest methods that would be utterly breaking, and painstakingly slow. Imagine hundreds, perhaps thousands, of workers, stripped to the waist, their bodies glistening with sweat under the relentless sun. They would likely have used a combination of brute force, ingenuity, and simple machines. Envision thick, twisted ropes woven from jungle vines, or perhaps sturdy strips of leather, cinched around massive stone blocks. Underneath, a network of wooden rollers, felled from the very trees that surrounded them, would have been placed, painstakingly moved and repositioned as the stone lumbered forward. The path itself would have been a monumental undertaking. Roads, or at least hardened causeways, would have been meticulously cleared through the dense jungle, often raised above the wet ground to provide a stable surface. These paths would then need to be constantly maintained, smoothed, and prepared for the passage of these immense weights. The sound would have been one of rhythmic grunting, the straining of muscles, the creak of wood, and the deep, resonant rumble of stone on stone. It was a symphony of human effort, a slow, methodical advance, inch by agonizing inch, day after sweltering day. And once the stones arrived at the construction site, the challenge shifted from horizontal transport to vertical elevation. How did they lift these multi-ton blocks to create the soaring heights of their pyramids, the towering temples, the intricately carved stelae that punctuated their plazas? Again, without sophisticated cranes or modern lifting equipment, the answer lies in simple yet effective leverage. Think of immense wooden levers, perhaps reinforced earth ramps, or even a system of stacked timbers and inclined planes. Each stone would have been painstakingly maneuvered, levered up a fraction of an inch at a time, supported, then levered higher again. It was a dance of counterweights, fulcrums, and sheer human cooperation. The construction sites would have been a hive of relentless activity, a ceaseless hum of human labor. You can almost hear the rhythmic chipping of stone chisels, the thud of mallets, the shouts of overseers, and the soft, repetitive creak of ropes under tension. Every block, every carefully placed stone, represents not just an architectural decision, but countless hours of sweat, strain, and coordinated effort. It speaks to a level of societal organization, a communal dedication to monumental tasks, and an understanding of basic physics that, while seemingly primitive by today's standards, allowed them to shape their world and raise their tributes to the sky, transforming a wild, untamed jungle into magnificent, sprawling cities of stone. The silent weight of those stones whispers a story of an enduring will, a profound commitment to building, and an unyielding capacity for arduous work, all without the aid of so many tools we consider indispensable today. As the sun, or perhaps the gentle rain, washes over these majestic cities, another layer of Maya brilliance begins to reveal itself, one that often escapes the casual eye but speaks volumes of their practical genius, their sophisticated management of water. While we often marvel at their pyramids and temples, the lifeblood of any successful civilization, particularly one nestled within a tropical rainforest, is water. And in many regions of the Maya lowlands, especially on the Yucatan Peninsula, access to consistent surface water like rivers was often scarce or entirely absent. This presented a profound challenge: how to sustain large, densely populated urban centers in an environment defined by seasonal rains and porous limestone geology that quickly absorbed surface water. Their answer was an engineering marvel, a testament to their meticulous planning and their profound understanding of their environment. The Maya developed intricate and extensive water management systems, transforming their cities into self-sustaining, hydrologically intelligent landscapes. Imagine the gentle patter of raindrops on broadleaf canopies, the air heavy with humidity, and the quick absorption of water into the thirsty earth. The Maya knew that every drop counted. They were masters of collection, storage, and distribution. At the heart of their system were vast, sophisticated underground reservoirs, often referred to as Wincholchins. These subterranean cisterns were not merely holes in the ground. They were carefully engineered, bell-shaped chambers dug deep into the limestone, sometimes lined with multiple layers of plaster or stucco to prevent seepage. Imagine the effort involved in carving these immense underground chambers by hand, deep beneath the earth. Each one was designed to capture and hold precious rainwater, acting as the city's life-sustaining pulse during the long, dry season. The surface above these sucholchuns would often be sloped and paved, guiding the rainfall directly into collection channels that fed into the reservoirs, ensuring maximum efficiency. Beyond these individual storage units, many Maya cities developed complex networks of aqueducts, canals, and even artificial wetlands. Picture the subtle gleam of water within these meticulously constructed channels, weaving its way through the urban fabric. These aqueducts, often lined with stucco to reduce leakage and maintain water quality, would transport water from larger, centralized reservoirs or natural depressions that had been modified for storage, carrying it to various parts of the city. Some systems even included sedimentation tanks, allowing silt and impurities to settle before the water reached the consumption points, indicating an early understanding of water purification. Consider the city of Decode, for example, which lacked a major river nearby. Its inhabitants developed an elaborate system of dams, canals, and reservoirs, collectively storing millions of gallons of water. When the seasonal rains arrived, torrents of water would rush across paved plazas and specially designed catchment areas, channeled into these monumental reservoirs, ensuring a supply that could last for months. The very layout of their cities, with their plazas and monumental courtyards, often served a dual purpose, not just ceremonial spaces, but also efficient rainwater harvesting zones, guiding the precious liquid into the waiting cisterns below. This complex web of water infrastructure speaks to a level of engineering foresight that is truly astounding. It required an intimate knowledge of hydrology, geology, and construction techniques. Their ability to manage and manipulate their environment for survival, to ensure that every citizen had access to this fundamental resource, allowed their cities to flourish for centuries in challenging conditions. The quiet gurgle of water within their hidden channels, the cool, damp air within a subterranean reservoir, were not just sounds and sensations. They were the very heartbeat of their civilization, a testament to an ancient people who understood that true power lay not just in monumental stone, but in the intelligent and sustainable stewardship of the Earth's most vital gift. You can almost feel the gentle coolness of the stored water, a silent, unseen triumph flowing beneath your feet, sustaining life where it seemed nature had provided too little. And so, we arrive at the greatest enigma, the most profound whisper, echoing through the jade-green silence of the jungle. It is the core of the Mayan mystery, the question that haunts every archaeologist, every dreamer who gazes upon these crumbling stones, the sudden, inexplicable vanishing of their golden age. Imagine, if you will, the bustling heart of Decode, its towering pyramids piercing the canopy, its plazas teeming with life, the rhythmic hum of daily commerce, the fervent chants of priests, the skilled hands of artisans carving glyphs into stone. Picture the vibrant hues of painted murals, the intricate feathered headdresses, the constant construction of new temples, each a testament to a thriving dynamic civilization. For centuries, from roughly 250 AD to 900 AD, these cities in the southern lowlands sites like Copan, Palenque, Tikal, Calakmul-Saki, were the epicenters of power, learning, and artistic expression. They were the proud statements of a people who mastered time and stars, who built monumental structures without metal tools, without the wheel, without large beasts of burden. Then something shifted, not with a cataclysmic bang, not with a sudden invasion that left bodies in the streets, but with a profound, almost silent retreat. Sometime around the 8th and 9th centuries AD, a stillness began to creep in. The chisels that once sang against limestone fell silent. The steady stream of tribute-bearers dwindled. The grand stelae, once meticulously carved with the histories of kings and the movements of planets, were left unfinished, their surfaces blank, awaiting a story that would never be told. One by one, then in accelerating succession, these magnificent urban centers, once vibrant with the pulse of thousands, began to empty. People simply left. They walked away from their homes, their fields, their temples, their elaborate ball courts. They abandoned the sophisticated water systems that sustained them, the sprawling marketplaces, the very foundations of their classical existence. It wasn't an immediate, overnight phenomenon in the literal sense, but in the grand sweep of history, it was startlingly swift. Within a century or two, hundreds of these flourishing metropolises became ghost cities, slowly, inexorably, being swallowed whole by the relentless embrace of the tropical rainforest. The jungle, which they had so expertly tamed and lived alongside, now moved in with patient, green tendrils, reclaiming every plaza, every courtyard, every forgotten staircase. Vines snaked through once sacred chambers, roots cracked through intricately laid stone, and the cries of howler monkeys replaced the voices of emperors. What happened? Why did the architects cease their designs? Why did the priests abandon their altars? Why did the farmers leave their fertile fields? It is a question that has captivated scholars for generations, a profound silence that speaks volumes of a civilization's end, yet offers no clear answers carved in stone. The very monuments that stood as proud declarations of their longevity became silent witnesses to their perplexing departure. This great collapse of the classic Maya lowlands remains one of archaeology's most tantalizing cold cases, a historical riddle whispered by the wind through ancient trees, inviting us to ponder the fragility of even the most advanced human endeavors. It is a mystery that weighs heavily on the humid air, a collective decision to forsake grandeur for an unknown destiny. And as the jungle silently reclaimed its territory, various theories have emerged, each attempting to unravel this profound mystery. Among the most widely accepted scientific hypotheses, and one that echoes with a stark relevance in our own era, is the devastating impact of prolonged, severe drought. Imagine the slow, creeping agony of a parched land. For centuries, the Maya had mastered their environment, constructing intricate networks of reservoirs and canals to capture and store the abundant seasonal rains. Their very existence, their agricultural cycles, their social structure, were deeply intertwined with the predictability of the wet and dry seasons. But what if that predictability shattered? Scientific investigations, delving deep into the earth, have offered compelling evidence. Researchers have analyzed sediment layers from ancient lakes, extracted core samples from stalagmites in caves, and studied the fossilized pollen from long-dead plants. These meticulous examinations act as time capsules, revealing a chilling story etched in the very geological record of the region. They tell of a period precisely coinciding with the classic Maya collapse, marked by what scientists now call mega droughts, droughts of unprecedented severity and duration. These weren't just a few dry seasons. Picture years stretching into decades, perhaps even a century or more, where the life-giving rains simply failed to arrive, or arrived in such diminished capacity that the sophisticated water management systems, once their pride, became tragically inadequate. Envision the reservoirs slowly emptying, their cracked beds baking under a relentless sun. The vibrant green of the cornfields, the staple of Maya sustenance, would have withered and turned brittle, their precious kernels never forming. The intricate irrigation channels would lie dusty and empty, mocking the desperate thirst of a populace that had grown too large, too dependent on the consistent bounty of the land. The effects would have been catastrophic, a ripple effect slow and inexorable through every facet of Maya society. Food shortages would have become rampant, leading to widespread famine and malnutrition. As crops failed, the intricate trade networks would have broken down. The authority of the rulers, often seen as intermediaries with the gods, responsible for ensuring prosperity and rain, would have been severely undermined. How do you maintain faith in a king who cannot deliver water, who cannot appease the rain god Chak. This environmental stress would have exacerbated existing tensions, turning communities against each other in a desperate struggle for dwindling resources. Migration, once a choice, would have become a necessity for survival, sending people away from the great cities in search of any place where the earth still yielded life. The sheer scale and persistence of these droughts, as revealed by paleoclimate data, present a powerful and deeply saddening explanation for why a flourishing civilization might simply have been forced to abandon its magnificent urban centers. It's a quiet, relentless curse, a slow suffocation of an entire way of life by the very elements they revered and sought to control. Yet, the story of the collapse is rarely a singular narrative, often multiple threads intertwined to create a tapestry of decline. Alongside the grim specter of drought, another powerful theory suggests that the classic Maya civilization was ultimately consumed by its own internal conflicts, an escalating, relentless cycle of warfare between its competing city-states. While the grandeur of Maya architecture and art often conveys an image of sophisticated tranquility, the archaeological record and deciphered glyphs tell a more complex, often brutal, tale of political maneuvering, rivalry, and open conflict. Imagine a landscape dotted with powerful kingdoms, each ruled by its Savantuan Awar, or divine lord fiercely proud and constantly vying for supremacy. Cities like Tikal and Calakmul, for example, were locked in centuries, long power struggles, a kind of ancient geopolitical chessboard where alliances shifted, betrayals were common, and the stakes were always incredibly high. Warfare wasn't just about territorial expansion. It was deeply ritualistic, tied to the capture of high-ranking captives for sacrifice, the seizure of prestige goods, and the humiliation of rival rulers. The glyphs on stelae and temple walls, once thought to primarily recount celestial observations, revealed detailed accounts of battles, victories, and the public degradation of captured enemies. As the environmental pressures of drought began to mount, the existing rivalries would have intensified dramatically. Scarce resources, fertile land, access to dwindling water sources, control over trade routes for vital goods like obsidian and jade, would have become even more precious, more fiercely contested. What might have started as localized skirmishes could have escalated into devastating, widespread conflicts, drawing more and more city-states into a spiral of violence. Picture the constant drain this would have placed on the Maya populace. Young men would have been conscripted into armies, pulled away from their agricultural duties, further destabilizing food production. Trade, essential for the exchange of goods and ideas, would have been disrupted, leading to economic hardship. The constant threat of raids, the burning of fields, the destruction of homes would have forced populations to abandon outlying areas, retreating into the relative safety of fortified city centers, or perhaps fleeing entirely into the less populated hinterlands. The construction of new monuments, a hallmark of Maya prosperity and royal legitimacy, would have dwindled as resources were diverted to defense and warfare. Imagine the fear, the exhaustion, the deep cynicism that would have settled over a populace living under the perpetual shadow of conflict. This internal fracturing, a civilization slowly tearing itself apart from within through a series of protracted, destructive wars, could have profoundly weakened the social fabric. It might have made them more vulnerable to the effects of drought, less able to adapt, and ultimately led to the breakdown of political authority and the eventual abandonment of the great cities. The silent stones then become monuments not just to their brilliance, but to the devastating cost of unending human conflict. Perhaps, beyond the endless cycles of conflict in the ever-thirsting earth, another silent, unseen enemy stalked the jungle paths. Imagine a different kind of shadow falling across the sun-drenched plazas, a menace far more insidious than any rival king or parched horizon. This is the realm of the unseen, the microscopic, the insidious whisper of contagion that can sweep through a densely packed urban center with the terrifying speed of a jungle fire. Picture, if you will, the bustling heart of a Maya city Fundi, a place vibrant with life, packed with people, commerce, and ceremony. There are thousands living in close proximity, sharing common spaces, drawing water from communal reservoirs, and exchanging goods in crowded markets. In such an environment, the invisible world of pathogens finds fertile ground, ready to germinate and spread with ruthless efficiency. One cough, one feverish touch, one unwashed hand, and a ripple begins, expanding outward from its innocent origin. Consider the potential for widespread illness in a world without understanding of germ theory, without antibiotics, without even the most basic modern sanitation practices we take for granted. A single foreign pathogen, perhaps carried in by a traveler from a distant village, or accidentally introduced through a new type of crop or animal, could have been utterly devastating. Imagine a sickness that starts subtly findy. A general malaise, a persistent cough, a spreading rash, then rapidly escalates, claiming the young, the old, the strong, and the weak indiscriminately. The vibrant sounds of the marketplace would slowly dim, replaced by the hushed tones of fear and the mournful cries of loss. You would wake to the chilling silence of neighbors' homes, once alive with the chatter of children or the rhythmic clatter of weaving, now eerily quiet. The healers, with their intricate knowledge of herbs and rituals, would find themselves overwhelmed, their traditional remedies proving powerless against an invisible tide of disease. The priests would offer their most fervent prayers, their incense rising in smoky pleas to the gods, yet the sickness would continue its relentless march. Fear would become a tangible thing, a heavy cloak draped over every interaction, every shared meal. Who would work the fields when half the village lay prone? Who would maintain the intricate water systems when fever claimed the engineers? The very interconnectedness that allowed Maya civilization to flourish through the trade routes. The dense populations, the shared public spaces, could have become its greatest vulnerability. A rapid, uncontrolled epidemic could have shattered the social fabric, instilled a profound sense of despair, and rendered entire communities unable to sustain themselves. The idea of social distancing would be a foreign concept, impossible to enforce in homes where multiple generations lived under one roof, or in cities where daily life demanded constant proximity. The fear of the unseen enemy, combined with the real and devastating loss of life, could have driven people from their ancestral cities, seeking refuge in isolated hamlets, hoping to outrun the invisible specter of death. Or perhaps the Maya fall wasn't a sudden, acute illness, but a slow, chronic degradation of their very foundation found, the land beneath their feet. Consider the relentless pressure of a burgeoning population, constantly expanding its needs in a fragile tropical ecosystem. The jungle, while seemingly boundless, has a delicate balance, and human intervention, when taken to extremes, can tip that balance with catastrophic consequences. Imagine the sight of more and more trees falling, year after year, century after century. Each magnificent pyramid, each sprawling plaza, each new residential compound demanded vast quantities of timber for construction, for fuel, for the plaster that coated their dazzling temples. The once dense canopy, the lungs of the land, would begin to recede, replaced by ever-expanding fields of maize. Slash and burn agriculture, while effective in the short term, requires long fallow periods for the land to recover. But what happens when there are too many mouths to feed, too many bodies to house? The fallow periods shorten, the land is overused, and the nutrient-rich topsoil, once protected by a thick blanket of vegetation, begins to erode. You might have seen the telltale signs, the rivers, once clear and flowing, becoming murky with sediment after every heavy rain. The fertile earth, once yielding abundant harvests, slowly turning to barren, cracked clay under the relentless sun. The underground water tables, replenished by the jungle's filtering embrace, might have dropped as the thirsty landscape struggled to retain moisture. The delicate balance between human ingenuity and natural resilience would have been strained to its breaking point. The very success of Maya engineering thorough, their ability to create complex hydraulic systems to capture and store water 30, might have ironically masked the underlying problem for a time. But when the rains failed, or when the cleared land could no longer absorb and channel water effectively, even the most sophisticated reservoirs would run dry. The elaborate network of terraces and canals, once symbols of mastery over nature, would become silent testaments to a vanished bounty. The sounds of the jungle, once a symphony of life, would diminish. The calls of exotic birds would grow rarer, the rustle of unseen animals less frequent. Instead, you might hear the mournful whisper of the wind through parched cornstalks, the dry crackle of dying leaves, or the desperate bleating of hungry animals. The once vibrant jade green of the rainforest would be flecked with the dull browns and grays of exhausted earth. This environmental degradation would not have been a dramatic, singular event like an earthquake. It would have been a slow, creeping crisis, a gradual tightening of the noose around the neck of a thriving civilization. As resources dwindled, competition would intensify, perhaps fueling the very wars we spoke of earlier. As the land grew less productive, hunger would become a constant companion, gnawing at the edges of daily life. People might have simply left, not in a panicked exodus, but in a gradual, desperate search for new, more forgiving lands, leaving their grand cities to be slowly, silently swallowed by the very jungle they had once so meticulously cleared. These are but theories, whispers on the wind, but they paint vivid pictures of possible fates for a people who reached for the stars, yet remained inextricably bound to the earth beneath their feet. Yet, as the theories swirl and the archaeologists sift through the dust of centuries, an even more profound truth emerges from the jungle's embrace, a truth that echoes with the quiet resilience of the human spirit. For all the talk of collapse and disappearance, one essential fact often gets lost in the dramatic narratives. The Maya never truly vanished. No, the grand city-states, the classical period of monumental construction, the intricate royal lineages that carved their stories into stone-twinned favern, that civilization, that particular expression of Maya power and artistry, did indeed recede. The echoes of its golden age faded, and the jungle gently, persistently, began to reclaim its own. But the people themselves, the inheritors of that incredible legacy, They simply continued. They adapted. They survived. They walked away from the stone giants and carved out new lives, new villages, new rhythms in the endless green heart of Mesoamerica. Imagine the quiet strength, the sheer tenacity of a people who, faced with dwindling resources or relentless conflict or the ravages of disease, simply refused to be extinguished. They didn't cease to exist, they simply changed how they existed. They might have exchanged the grand ceremonial centers for smaller, more sustainable settlements. They might have traded the intricate stone carving of royal narratives for the enduring patterns woven into their textiles, or the stories whispered around cooking fires. The grand unified empire might have fractured into countless smaller, more autonomous communities, each preserving a piece of the ancient soul. Today, if you travel through the highlands of Guatemala, or the villages of the Yucatan, or the remote corners of Chiapas, you will encounter the Maya, not as ghosts from a distant past, but as living, breathing communities. You will see the direct descendants of those stargazers and mathematicians, those architects and artists, in the faces of women weaving vibrant patterns on backstrap looms, just as their ancestors did 1,000 years ago. You will hear the ancient languages Aikiche, Kachikal, Mayan, Yucatec Thuer still spoken, still sung, still carrying the cadences and wisdom of generations. These aren't merely historical relics. They are vibrant, evolving languages, adapting to the modern world while carrying the weight of ancient memory. You might witness their agricultural practices, deeply rooted in a profound understanding of the land, much like their ancestors. The cultivation of maize, that sacred grain, remains central to their diet and their worldview. You'll see their reverence for nature, their communal spirit, their unique blend of ancient beliefs with the influences of later eras. Their traditional clothing, with its riot of color and intricate embroidery, often carries symbols and patterns that reach back into the mists of time. Each thread, a quiet testament to an unbroken lineage. The Maya people, with their deep brown eyes and their enduring smiles, stand as a living bridge between a magnificent past and a resilient present. They are the quiet proof that a civilization can transform, can retreat from its grandest expressions, but its spirit, its essence, its people can live on. They are the continuous heartbeat in the jungle, a reminder that human culture, like the forest itself, can grow back, adapt, and persist through every change of season, every historical tempest. The temples may have fallen silent, but the voices of the Maya continue to echo, a testament to an enduring spirit that refused to fade into the annals of a forgotten past. So, as we bring our journey through the veiled secrets of the Maya to a close for tonight, remember that what we've uncovered is but a fraction, a few scattered fragments from a mosaic of breathtaking complexity. The jungle, with its whispering leaves and its deep, ancient roots, still holds so many more untold stories, so many more enigmas tucked away beneath its emerald canopy. Imagine, if you will, the sheer volume of knowledge that must still lie beneath the surface, waiting patiently for the archaeologist's trowel, for the linguist's keen eye, or for the quiet hum of future technologies. Vast cities, once bustling with life, may still be cloaked by centuries of overgrowth, their secrets guarded by tangled vines and the patient earth. Entire codices, lost to time and zeal, might yet be discovered, waiting to shed new light on their intricate understanding of the cosmos, their profound philosophies, their everyday lives. The exploration of the Maya is not a finished chapter. It is an ongoing, evolving narrative. Every new discovery, every deciphered glyph, every carefully excavated artifact adds another brushstroke to a portrait that is still largely undefined. We are like children peeking through a keyhole into a vast illuminated chamber, catching glimpses of unimaginable splendor, but knowing there is so much more beyond our immediate sight. As the sounds of the jungle begin to recede in your mind, and the intricate details of ancient cities soften around the edges of your thoughts, allow yourself to simply wonder. Wonder at the brilliance of a people who mastered time and stars without the tools we deem essential. Wonder at the resilience of a culture that persisted despite unimaginable challenges. Wonder at the quiet power of a forest that embraces and preserves the echoes of human ambition. Let the lingering mysteries of the Maya civilization become a soft, comforting hum in your ears. Picture the gentle sway of the ancient ceiba tree, connecting the heavens to the earth, stretching its branches into the quiet night. Feel the cool, humid air of the rainforest drift gently around you, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and unseen blossoms. As your eyelids grow heavy and your breath deepens into a slow, steady rhythm, release any lingering thoughts of the day. Allow the images of stone pyramids, of starry nights, of ancient scripts to blend into a soothing tapestry in your mind. Imagine yourself drifting through the silent moonlit ruins, feeling the profound peace of a forgotten world. The secrets of the Maya, veiled for centuries, are now woven into the fabric of your dreams. Let them guide you into a deep, restorative sleep. Rest now, peacefully, under the watchful gaze of the ancient stars.